The definition of a sugar daddy, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a rich older man who lavishes gifts on a young woman in return for her company or sexual favours. However, some of these sugar daddies are just taking it way too far. How would you feel if your dad started dating someone the same age as you? Disgusting! It just screams no one's safe.
Hypothetically speaking, let's just say when you were 18, you somehow get a sugar daddy and he's like 41, and on your second date, he literally gives you an Amex card with your name on it and it's limitless. And so you go and spend all this money on you and your friends, and you're filling up everybody's gas tank in the hood. And then on your third date, he wants to do the deed, and you don't know how to say no because you feel like you owe him something because you just spent all this money on his credit card, and so you end up doing it. And then he takes you to Vegas and you go to Vegas with him, and you have like 20 something followers on TikTok at the time, and you make a TikTok and it's really funny and he's not in it, it's just you, but you post it, it randomly blows up, it gets like 1 million views, and you're like, oh my god, my first viral video, this is so fun and so awesome. And then you post a follow-up video to like play along with the joke, and you're on his yacht in the second video, and then he sends you a message being like, is there a video of you on my daughter's phone, why are you sending her videos, how do you even know her? And I'm like, I didn't even know you had a daughter, like who's like, how old is she? And he tells you that she's 17 and you're 18. So then I explained the For You page to him, and that my video just must have ended up on her For You page, and then he gives you her username because he wants you to block her, right, so that she doesn't see your videos. And so naturally you are really curious about what the fuck is going on, and you search up her username and you stalk her TikTok naturally and her Instagram, and you see that her parents are high school sweethearts, and she literally posts videos about how they are happily in love and they're literally high school sweethearts and like her goals for love and marriage. And she posts all these videos being like daddy's girl, and like they go on all these family trips together and they live like the most perfect, awesome, rich people life ever. And like her birthday party was gorgeous, she's wearing all these designer clothes, and she has all these rich friends. And like, so you're like, oh my god, should I say something to her because I don't want to have bad karma, and then when I'm older I'm going to be the wife with a husband that cheats on me with a bunch of younger girls, and none of the girls are going to come forward because I didn't come forward. So you are so conflicted on like what the moral, ethical thing to do is, because you know that if you say something, you're literally going to like ruin this girl's life and her idea of who her father is. But also, it's not your fault, it's his fault, and it just like, don't shoot the messenger, you know what I mean? But you just feel so conflicted, so you end up not saying anything. You never talk to him again. You never send her a message. 3 years go by, and every now and then you think of her and you search up her Instagram and her TikTok, and you do a little stalking just to see like if they're still together and if anything's come out, because you know that you were not the only girl that he was seeing, and there were so many others. And you just checked on her today and you see that they just celebrated their 23rd anniversary, and she is still daddy's girl, and her parents are still happily in love, and her mom is literally so pretty and she looks like the sweetest woman ever. And you're just like, how do I go about this? What would you do? Would you do anything? What's the moral thing to do? What's the ethical thing to do? I know the truth sets you free, and like everyone deserves to know the truth, but like, is it your place to tell them the truth? Or like, what do? Do you just say like, none of my business? Like, or do you come forward and say something because genuinely you have no fucking idea and it literally haunts you sometimes? So this is all hypothetical, but what would you do in this situation? Hypothetically speaking.
Well, a hypothetical answer would be that is insane. Insane. I am not opposed to women or anyone getting a sugar daddy or whatever. Like, good for you. Do you know what I mean? We all need them. So, nothing against that at all. I mean, the age gap is 18. Oh, I think that's the biggest ick for me with this, is the fact his daughter was 17 and she's 18. Like, the one thing I absolutely adore about my dad is he's not a sugar daddy, for the love of God. That's one of them. But he looks at girls my age or anyone younger and looks at them like he would for me, from what he tells me. And he looks after them because my dad's a paramedic, and he's very much for, like, he just doesn't look at any girl that's young in an appropriate manner. And that's one thing that, well, one of the things that I just think my dad's amazing for. Do you know what I mean? Because don't get me wrong, we can all look at other people and find them attractive and be like, wow, for whatever reason that it is. Do you know what I mean? I literally, when I was in Barcelona, there was one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen in my entire life. honest to God, she lives rent-free in my mind. Like, she was stunning, tan, this gorgeous blue dress. And I was like, oh my God, that dress. And she was like, excuse me. I was like, you are beautiful. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much. We all have people like that who just live rent-free in our minds because you are beautiful. You can admire someone for being beautiful. But there's being like admiring, and then there's being an absolute perv. And that has given me pervert. It's just given me like, what? How can you look at someone who's a year or a couple of months older than your own daughter and want to sleep with them? Do you know, it's given red flag. It's just giving me the ick. And the fact that he's a like married man, like, I thought a sugar daddy wanted the company, obviously, for like that interaction because they're not getting it. Not because they've got a full happy family and they just want a bit on the side. Do you know what I mean? But then there was red flags with her story, the fact that he gave her an Amex card straight away and she was filling everyone in the mother's gas tanks up, or petrol tanks. Imagine doing that now when a living day crisis, girl. You'd just about be able to afford your own, never mind everyone else's. But that was weird as well. But then she was only young, she was only 18, so I don't know. In terms of asking, I don't know what the right answer would be, so please let me know in the comments down below, because would you tell the wife and destroy your family? I don't know. I actually really don't know what I'd do in that situation, because obviously I'm not in that situation, probably never would be. But I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't. Let's go to the comments. Let's see what other people are saying. So we've got a comment that says his daughter is 17 and you're 18 is all I heard. 100%. Like, ew. 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 And I know there's bigger age gaps, but I think it's just because she was so young. Like, I don't think I'm offended by the age gap. I'm just offended by how young she was at the time. If she was maybe in like an early-ish mid-20s and it was that age gap, I don't think it'd be as bad. But I think at 18 you're just a baby. It's just a baby. It's given Jimmy Savile. Like, it's just given you need to be somewhere that is not free to roam around the world. Like, I don't know, just, I know the legal age, I know it's a legal age, and I know they can do what they want, but they're still a baby. And it just, you feeling me? Do you get me? We have another comment. 41 and 18 is the biggest problem here. So we're focusing a lot on the age, but it isn't just me that has the problem. That is a big age gap. What is that? I need to calculate it. I might work in a bank home, but I have got no math skills. 23 years. It is. 23. The girl isn't even 23. And he's going for it. Okay, not a problem. The other comment that we got is the wife knows, trust me. And that comment had like an insane amount of likes on it. And there was quite a few people saying that they think the wife knows. I mean, I don't know. As I said, I don't know whether she does. Like, I don't think I personally would want to stay in a relationship with someone if that's what they were doing, no matter how much money they've got, no matter whatever the lifestyle it is that I'm accustomed to. However, I don't know that woman's situation. It could be that if she walks away from her husband, she literally has nothing and nowhere to go. So I guess you don't know until you're in that situation, but it's given toxic. It's given disgusting. It's just, no thank you. I don't want any part of this.
I'm married and have fallen for my sugar daddy. Me and my husband got married March 2022. We have been together for 10 years since I was 16 and he was 18. Wow. My husband is truly my soulmate and has been there for me when I lost my sibling nearly 7 years ago. Oh, wow. Last year, after the wedding, we got into a little bit of debt. Back in August 2022, we were watching the Olivia Atwood documentary on girls with sugar daddies. I joked to my husband about setting up an account and he laughed and said, do what you want. So I did. I set up my account using my dog's name, lol. One guy who stood out, let's call him Brian, messaged me. At first, the conversations that followed were very innocent. Then it turned very sexual and steamy. We would both send pictures to each other. Stop. We would call each other about 10 times a day. My husband did not suspect a thing.
What?
I got a total of 40k from Brian. Around October last year, I decided to call things off. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I wanted to meet Brian so badly as a final goodbye.
That you'd never met.
So that's only a snippet of a story from the girls' bathroom. The audacity of this woman saying that her husband is a soulmate, but she can be sending news to another man. How is she ringing him 10 times a day? How? I don't understand how did that take place? How would you want to speak to someone 10 times a day? I don't know about you, right? I'm not the socialist person. Like, I don't shut up. However, when it comes to speaking to people that much, oh, no, thank you. Like, no. I'm sorry, no. I don't stand up at any point to speak to someone 10 times a day. What do you talk about 10 times a day? Like, what is it to speak about? The sky being blue and the grass being green? Like, what are you talking about? That's wild. Let's go to the comments. We've got, what website is this? Asking for friends. And 40 grand in, however, I can't remember how long it's within a couple of months that she got 40 grand off him. Insane. Love that. Do you know what I mean? My yearly salary isn't even 40 grand. Like, that's insane. And especially not meeting him. Because we will get into a video later on about, like, the fact that you basically only get paid if you meet up with them. So it is clear that there is some exceptions where you don't have to meet them. But that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And, like, I think I watched that Olivia Atwood's one, because I'm sure I watched the one where she, like, went into all the different, like, OnlyFans and stuff like that. I watched a TV series on that, so I thought that was quite interesting. That doesn't mean just go off and do it. I mean, not Gail, 40 grand, do you know what I mean? Whatever, you knock yourself out, but not when you're a married woman. And not when you haven't explicitly had a conversation. It's different making it a joke. It's like having a sit down conversation with your husband and being like, listen, I'm gonna look at doing this. Would you be open for that? And at least allowing your husband to know. Like, I don't feel like making that joke and taking him saying, oh, do whatever you want, joking back as an acceptance of what she did. Wild. We have, how on earth did she explain making an extra 40k? That's what I want to know. 100%, like, considering you were in debt and struggling, 40k isn't like a small amount of money. Obviously, it depends who you're of. For the boot basket video that we did the other week, which you haven't watched, I will link it here. Probably to them it isn't, do you know what I mean? But it is quite a big chunk of money to go from, like, being in debt to then having that. Like, I don't understand how she explained that coming into the account, however she did it, whether she layered it, whether she's getting involved in money laundering. I haven't got a clue. Whatever, you do you, queen, at this point. And then our final comment we have is, my husband is truly my soulmate, heart lol. And it literally is wild when people make these type of comments. Like in our last video, oh my god, I'm just promoting every single video I've ever done. But in our last video where we talk about baby Charlotte, and she mentions about a fella being like a soulmate, but then she literally cheated on him. Like, it's just crazy. How are people saying these sentences out loud and not knocking themselves sick? How dare you say someone's your soulmate but you've slept with someone else? Like, then how? Like, how? If they're your soulmates, have more respect, honey bun. This influencer I'm going to show you next, I feel like we all need to take a lesson out of her book if we want a sugar daddy.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Sorry. Hi.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Carolina,
Federico,
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Federico. You look so handsome.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you. Federico, I have
What's
such
up?
a bad day.
Oh my god, why?
I don't know.
The weather maybe.
Yeah, could be. Do you want to make me happy?
How can I do it?
Why is his
There's
arms
a
doing that?
Chanel store there. Can you make me happy and buy me a bag?
You're serious?
Yes.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
Come on.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
no
my
problem.
god,
What?
thank you.
Okay, come on.
Sorry? So I've had to mute this bit because it's got music in the background. Surely not. I hope they just bought the bag, there's no actual bag inside. Oh, it's just saved a life. Never mind saving the bag, you just saved a life. The song that plays over that, by the way, was Hero by Enrique Iglesias, just in case anyone wanted a bit of the background, what was going on. That's crazy. I imagine me walking up to a fella and asking him to buy, and never mind buy me a bag, like, they wouldn't even buy me a butty, do you know what I mean? Like, are you mad? What on earth? I'm not gonna lie to you, right? And you let me know in the comments down below, but I feel like if I was gonna take a sugar daddy home, I would not complain with this man. Not like, just saying, for like the man of his age, he knows how to dress that body, and that is great for him. But wild the fact that if that is the case, like, what? I'm sorry. I did end up going on to this TikToker, and I always link all the creators down below, by the way, so always feel free to go and check them out there. So you can go and look at the videos, you can listen to them when they've got the music on, and you can like get the full vibes or whatever. And she does this quite a lot with quite a few different people, and obviously I just wanted to show you one of them and didn't want to go into loads of detail. It's crazy, like, but she doesn't really show when she then has the gear. So again, I don't know whether just going in and buying like the actual bag. I don't know if you can do that. I personally have never been into a Chanel store because nope. But yeah, I've never been in one, so I don't know whether you can just buy the gift bag of like what they come in, like a store bag. I don't know. It seems wild. It seems wild. But let's see the comments. We've got girl, same. I can't even get on my flurry. Literally same. Crazy. That's crazy. Maybe you just need to have that confidence. I mean, I'd never dreamed to ask someone to do that for me anyway. Like, when I've been on a date with people, it's very rare they've even paid for me. So that's, yeah. Clearly I need to take a leaf out of her book and smash it out, do you know what I mean? So I love that for her. Love that. So we have a bit of a story time. So when I mentioned it earlier over meeting a sugar daddy before you get any payments, here's a story that we get from that.
So you know those sugar daddy like dating sites and stuff, right? I'm here to tell you they are actually legit. I experienced it firsthand. When I first got to London, I was on a bit of a budget, right? I was like, oh, a bit skimp on the money. Moved over, savings halved because Australia, UK, conversion rate, put 2 and 2 together, right? Wasn't a good time for me. I was like, oh, roughing it. Beans on toast for dinner for a couple months there. Anywho, right? So I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna give it, oh, why is this so
huge?
Oopsies. I was like, oh, we're gonna give it a whirl. I was like, you know what, what's the worst that happens? I meet up, I get kidnapped, you know? What will be, will be. Positive mindset, optimistic, naive, I am. Anywho, so I ended up downloading it, sugardaddy.co.uk, just so everyone knows. Pro tip for the girls out there,
no more
also
cucumber, please.
on a budget. And I downloaded it, and I ended up creating a profile and meeting up with a guy named John. I don't know if that was his actual real name. I fucked up, gave him my WhatsApp, and my real name actually popped up through my WhatsApp. Big mistake there, but we live and learn, and he hasn't chucked me down since. So I ended up meeting up with him. And when I say, let me tell ya, I arrived, I shit you not, was shitting myself. I just came from work, so I don't really give a fuck. Looked a little ratty, but I was like, who gives a shit? And I sat down. I was like, we just met out at a cafe, just wanted an initial meeting to see if we vibed or not, obviously see if I look like my photos on my catfish. Also, giving this a whirl, put my finger in it, smells alright, so give it a go. Anyways, so I ended up sitting down outside this cafe with this bloke, met up with him, sat down, I had a glass of water, that was it. He got a coffee, it was like a pizza place, I mean, he didn't even get anything. I found out because he had to go get the kids from a school run, so he didn't have much time. I was like, oh, awesome. But I sat down there, right, and I was like to him, he was like, oh, like, you know, how are you, yada yada. I was like, oh yeah, good, just came from work. He's like, where do you work? I made up some name. I think I told him my real name was Athena, because it was this girl from work's name. I was like, well, I'm obviously not going to use my name, although he already would have seen it from WhatsApp. Is this going to wrap? I don't know. Probably going to go to shitties. Woo! It's a bit risque. Anyways, so I ended up meeting with him. And we sat there for like literally half an hour. He put a timer on his phone, right? I'm not even kidding. He put a half an hour timer. It was a half an hour meeting. We sat, we talked, made small talk, favourite colour, that kind of thing. I told him just living life, here to experience everything that it has to offer. Walked away. I was like, oh shit, I didn't want to ask about the payment. I was just going to message him later. He goes, oh, like, I'm going to give you cash. I was like, yeah, cool. Pulls up £200 cash. That's what we agreed on. That was that. Walked away and never saw the fucker again. And I'm not kidding. You probably call that bullshit story. No. He texted me after, because it was just an initial meet. He only wanted to give me 50, and I was like, mate, I've done this before. I'm not a rookie. I get like 500 usually. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll give you 200. I was like, thanks, matey. So I walked away, texted him later. I was like, thanks for the meet up, but just wasn't really feeling on my behalf. Thanks, bruh. And that was that. But I mean, the red flag was the fact that he had an ex-wife and he had to go pick his kids up from the school run. I was like, never seen you again. And just an FYI, I would have never got far. Not for me, but you do you. So...
Okay. £200 for a 30-minute chat. This is why some people just shouldn't have money, because if you've got that much money, how are you, like, what? That's crazy. That is crazy. And as we mentioned earlier, it's not always just for, like, naughty things. Sometimes it is just the fact that they want the company and the companionship and be able to have a chat with someone who's clearly a pretty girl or pretty individual, whoever it is that you want to sort of pay for. But that is wild. Also, that wrap was stressing me out how much cucumber she put on there. Maybe because I'm not the biggest fan of cucumber, but Jesus Christ. I had a comment on that actually said, I met someone for 30 minutes for a Starbucks date and he gave me £1,100. Where do we find these people? Like, where do I need to go? Who do I need to speak to? Like, sign me up, please. Jesus Christ, on a motorbike. Like, that is insane money. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to have a chat with someone. Like, as she said, though, the thought that you could get murders or whatever, like, it's a risk that you've got to take. You've got to risk it for the biscuit. And that is literally insane. So, very brave, very ballsy. Don't know whether sometimes it's always worth the payoff. To always be safe and careful if you are doing any of these things. Make sure you're sharing that location and telling someone where you're going, just in case. It's better to be safe than sorry, honey bun. So don't be getting murders on my behalf. The final one that we're going to look at is this one.
All right, that's day 2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, day 2.
Tomorrow,
that should be ready.
yeah?
Yeah, tomorrow. Or tomorrow. It depends on if this one night stand.
When
turns
it will
into
be
tomorrow.
ready,
Yeah,
I will send you the message.
Oh, yeah, let me know.
I
Yeah.
will call you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
come right over.
Can you tell me more about your work?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very interested.
So I work for my family's company.
Oh, okay. Like you mean for your father?
Yes.
Yeah.
My father started the company, and you know I grew up in the family business, and now that I'm in, it's great. Yeah, so I get to work with him and everything he built, and it's something I'm really proud of.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I'll get the check whenever you're ready.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah. And when the check arrives, when it gets here, I think we should just split it 50-50.
Oh, really? I thought we are on a date, but if you want to be friends, you know, we can be friends.
No, this is definitely a date. I just like to, you know, if we're gonna be husband and wife, it's gonna
Jesus
be
Christ.
a fair partnership. So, you know.
You told me that you work for your father's company. May I ask you a question, personal?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe you can give me his number, you know, and I can go on a date with him.
You're funny. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. You want? That's sure. Pay the whole thing. I can pay the whole thing.
You can pay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pay the whole thing. I see now. Okay. Only child. I get it. I get what I'm working with here. Okay. All right. Okay.
Nice.
Good to know.
What was the only child comments to say, like, she's, I don't know, because she expected it? I love the comment of, like, I thought we were on a date. If you just want to be friends, we can be friends. Like, I love that. And him being like, oh no, we're on a date. Like, it's a wild thing to say, because obviously in the day and age that we're in now, it's not expected that a man pays for the date. And a lot of the times people prefer to go 50-50 and you don't have to deal with that pressure. Or a lot of times women pay now as well on the first date, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, in the last relationship I was in, for our first date we went 50-50. I agree. I mean, with him being saying wife and the husband, that was a wild comment to make on, like, supposedly a first date. Like, are you okay? And I do agree, like, obviously later down the line, or even during the relationship, it's not going to be expected that one person pays for everything and the other person doesn't. Obviously it'll be a lot more equal, and I love that. Like, and I think that's very important to have that, like, 50-50. But for the first date, I do think it is nice for them to pay. In my humble opinion, I love me a chivalrous man who's happy to do that. But again, hard to come by, and it's not a very common thing nowadays. And I don't think it's like a major thing, but I love the confidence of asking for his dad's number as well. Love that. She's got her priorities. She knows what she wants and she's going to get it. And if you look that beautiful, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? She's stunning and clearly sets expectations. And I thought the way she done it was so funny. Like that, oh really? Love that. Love that. Our comments have got you so elegant with it. My anger issues could not obviously handle the situation the way she handled it. I don't think I'd ever be able to get angry in them situations, personally myself, because I think it's unless you've discussed it prior, like, I don't think it's like, I don't know how I'd be able to have that expectation that I just assume someone would pay. Like, even if we'd had that conversation and someone had told me they'd pay for me, I'd still always take money, because I don't enjoy putting that expectation on someone else. Like, it's like, if I want it, I'll just get it for myself. Like, I'm not bothered. Clearly she knew he was going to pay. And then we've got, like, he trying to flex his company but can't pay the full bill. Bye. So, yeah, I loved how high pitched he went when he said, do you want me to pay the full bill? Funny, absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. So they are all the sugar daddies that we're going to be talking about today. But I thoroughly enjoyed looking at all the different sugar daddies and the variants that we get with them. Some of them I did see on TikTok were a little bit wild and a little bit like, one of the men was literally saying how he had like some type of oil and he wanted to pour it all over it. And I was like, well, at a dinner table, the only oil you should be pouring is on your fucking food. Eat it and shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? But if you do know any wild sugar daddies, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm Antonia, by the way. Very nice to meet you. If you are new to the channel, we do all type of reaction, lifestyle and travel type of content. So if that is a bit of you, then please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Really hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're on the world. And hope to see you next one. But for now, bye bye bye.